Whoa. Okay, did not expect 6 people to be here. Thank you for being here. I was I was expecting 0 people to be here. Honestly, I'm coming on at a weird hour at night, 8 o'clock, for this reason. Okay, apparently 2 hours ago, the story broke that Thomas Jerome Bruce has pled guilty to all charges in St. Louis. Now, I went and confirmed this because I got this message from Mary Wood. I hope you don't mind me saying your name on Facebook, who was apparently watching, who was watching for this or got word, and she sent it to me. So I went and checked it, and it is out on KOMV. They had the video, where he had went in. Now, apparently he went in, it was pre-trial, and he was called up, sidebar. He wanted to plead guilty to all charges. Now, when he was brought up for a sidebar with the judge was asking him, okay, I mean, do you have, we know you got depression. Are you clear of head to say these things? He's like, yes, I take my medication. I'm very clear in my head. I'd like to plead guilty to all charges. Now, the ladies that were left alive, and I don't know their names, at the Catholic supply store were there. And I guess their statements, they read their statements or however that worked. Oh, man, hang on. That's probably somebody calling to tell me he's guilty. Yo, dude, hey, I'll call you back in a bit. Peace. All right. So anyway, let me get back to where I was. So he went into the courtroom. They gave their, statements. He was asked if he had anything to say. He said, no, I don't want to take up any of their time. When they was reading the statements, apparently they said that the only thing he was saying was, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. He took up no time after that, pled guilty. They gave him life. 12 life sentences plus 60 years was the conviction that he got. So he is never getting out of prison. Let that be known. That man will never, ever be out of prison, and he knows he'll never be out of prison. You see, and this is where it lies for me, because the next stop after this is that they go down and talk to him and come out with the charges on multiple murder counts. That's what I'm waiting for. Oh, yes, Sarah, totally. Yeah, check Google right now. Put in Thomas Jerome Bruce pleads guilty to all charges, and it should be on the, I'll type it down here. It's KOMV. I think it's, oh, wait. KOMV? No, it's KOV. Shit. I think it's KOV. I know it is. Yeah, I'm not even going to spell it out. Let me go look at it real quick. I'll get the... I'll drop the link right here. Now, if you go to the very first one at the bottom, the very first video feed at the top of that link, when you go there, it's got the feed on it. It's got the video feed where they're talking about it. Now, I don't know if there was any cameras that was in the courtroom when all this happened, but there was like a newer, older photo given when they took him in and he had the beard and the hair and everything, and he was in shackles. They had one of those where he's sitting down looking up at the lawyer, and the title on that was Thomas Jerome Bruce pleads guilty. So anyway, there that is. Some bad news, some real bad news. Now, because of what's transpired, I will not be going to St. Louis on November 1st. And I was really kind of looking forward to that, about going. But now, I mean, that is off because there will be no court on that date. And apparently now in St. Louis, it is all done, Oh, geez. Hey, Greeno confronted Chadwell today. Oh, boy, I hope he does a freaking March for Justice or something. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? A little March for Justice and stuff. Yeah, you know what? I confronted my neighbor today. Anybody want to hear about that shit? Probably not. Nor do I give a shit about what Greeno is doing. I don't really give a shit. Tell him to fucking call somebody. I don't give a damn. So, let me see. Wait. That's a good question. It really is. They're not going to come out and tell us that they talked to him. I don't believe. I think that they'll go down the state of Indiana, state of Iowa, state of Michigan. I know those three will, that they're going. There will be probably other states, including California and likely other states as places where he's traveled. But I mean, they have wherever they have DNA and fingerprints, they got him. And the FBI has already contacted those counties and states, said, we believe we got your guy, get your cases in order, because when this goes through and they get a conviction, you can go talk to him concerning those cases. Now, that's what I think's happening. I believe that as of like today, this weekend, I mean, hell, they went out to talk to, oh man, see, I forgot his name already. What was it? Holy crap! Hang on, man. Man. Man, we talked about him for months, man. You know what I'm talking about, out in Colorado. Oh, we get along. Yeah, we get along. I just don't care what he's doing. Dude, don't call me. So I mean, like, so what? Oh, he confronted him. Whoa. You know what? When his name was mentioned, I said he didn't do it. That was me. He didn't do it. Greeno's trying to get people to pay him money, and that's what he's doing. I'm not. I ain't sitting here trying to get people to pay me money. I don't give a damn. I got money. Greeno don't. Send him your money. That's the cat needs money. Nations, exactly, right there. There it is, Daniel Nations. Thank you. Christy Lynn, you know what? Show dedications to you and Mary Woods. Thank you. Yeah, Daniel Nations. Now, they went out to talk to him on a weekend. They left here on Friday. And, of course, me and Greeno was awaiting the word because we was sitting here and we didn't know. We was in verbal communication, written communication with Daniel Nations. So when, they went out to talk to him, we're like, okay, well, what is it? What are they going to say? Monday rolls around. You know what happens? The biggest mass shooting in American history, the Las Vegas shooting. I'm like, holy mother of shit. Why? But when they did come out, when they did mention go and talk to him, like, well, at this time, we can neither include nor exclude him as being on, and I'm like, we knew that when you left. It was messed up. But anyway, it wasn't long after that because we were still in written and verbal communication with Daniel. Now, once he got back, and that was 1 week, exactly 1 week before the first year press conference, they got him to, was that Greene County? No, Johnson County, Indiana. And they went down and talked to him there. And at the first year press conference, they're like, well, we talked to him and we're not even concerned about him right now. So we knew that at that time, well, he was very clear of it, of that. And we kind of knew that, I think, already, even, we certainly had our hunches prior to that. But that's when it was really clear. But also on the first year, we talked to Trooper Kim Riley. We got the statement that the man had never committed a crime. There was no DNA or fingerprints to be matched to. And again, that was weird because when he had said that, once again, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just throwing it out the way that it happened. When Trooper Kim Riley said that, because my initial thought was, oh my God, I got the best question and the best answer at the entire press conference. That's why I wasn't allowed for the second year press conference. And not only that, when he says, well, maybe he has done something, but we can find no traces of him. I knew it had nothing to do with DNA. I knew they were sitting on fingerprints at that time. And I came out, got the video right here. Go back and check it if you like. After the first year press conference, well, no, I uploaded that. My bad. I had to do that again. But it was all from the first year where I had said, yeah, I think they got fingerprints. They do have fingerprints. I ain't trying to blow my own horn. What I'm doing is I'm letting you know what I know. so that if you know what I know, you'll know Thomas Jerome Bruce pulled off Delphi and Evansdale. And you'll be standing by your computer waiting for word on it. Thank you. Yeah, it was. And, it was a simple question. I mean, it wasn't like an in-depth question, I'm like, well, we get where, where ours, man. But I mean, like with your investigation, and that's what led him right into that comment. I was kind of shocked that he had said that. And I thought, wow, okay, this is going to be really big, because we really did. I mean, of all questions and answers that was there, all of them was directed at Doug Carter. And that's why Doug Carter, that's his job, is to evade questions. That's $1 billion question. That's Doug Carter. That's his job, is to evade questions. He's like the president's press secretary. That's what they do. They evade questions, change the subject and go elsewhere. That's Doug Carter. But Kim Riley will give you some answers. Kind of. I mean, he don't go out and give you, but he certainly leads you in a good way. And I like that. I do. And I like Kim Riley. Probably Doug Carter too. But, if I'm sitting there talking to Doug Carter, I mean, at what point am I going to take him serious? It's like, I've heard you lie 30 times, man. So, oh, hey, Dave Welsh is here. The best drummer out there right now on earth. There it is. David Wells. Oh, yeah, man. Geez, everybody hopped on that. Thank you, man. Thank you very much, man. CJC, I don't even know who you are. I said never seen your name before. Or Cheryl Bundy, Age Stock, Greeno, oh yeah, Greeno confronted Chadwell today. Hell yeah. Go Greeno. Wow. Hey, Chadwell pled guilty to all charges today. Isn't this a big day for Delphi? Isn't it? It's a huge day for Delphi. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Chris Doolan. I got this, man. This was given to me by a millennial. I've never listened to him in my life, and I'm sorry for wearing this shirt. I actually wear it around the house. My dog likes it. I'm not saying he likes the band, but I'm just saying my dog likes the shirt. All right, so hey, Lollipop, how you doing? Heather, Sarah, Lynn Osmond, Two Cat and hi friends. How you doing? Glad you made it. Yeah. Well, yeah. So read that just up there. It's kind of cool. It's a little odd. That he would go in and plead guilty. Let's see, was that like 10 days? 10 days before he'd have to go to court. Took him 3 years. Pretty much 3 years of sitting in there in isolation, under watch of suicide. And he goes in and confesses. And again, I mean, because I know that people have a side to this, that they're like, well, there's no way he's going to go in and confess all these other murders. Well, it don't matter. It doesn't matter if he confesses to Delphi or not. They go talk to him to see what information that they can gain. Now, he knows the same as they know. They both know the information that they're holding. Now he knows they got him. He knows full well they got his fingerprints, DNA, 2 people that seen him, audio, video. They got everything on that man. The FBI went and did the CSI. They are not lacking in Delphi, and they know precisely who did it. Same as I do. They've known for 3 years, or close to 3. It ain't 3 years yet, but it will be probably by the 20th of November. 3 years since they knew who did it. Now, you know what? I'm getting me a truck horn. I seen one on eBay where you hit it and it's like, right? Because as I have to say here each week, never fails. Never fails. I got to throw out something that I had said. Well, it probably sounds very egotistical of me, very narcissistic. And I'm really not that way. Look, I would beg you to ask my puppy. I'm really not that way. When I sit around the house, the last thing I ever talk about is me. Never do. However, and I got the letter. I mean, if anybody would want to see it, I mean, I got all of them that I sent to him, back where I like texted it out before sending it to him. And the last letter that I mailed to him, and that's been, geez, probably, was it? I could go back and look on my live feed. I'm going to say it was 2.5 months ago when I sent him the last letter. It was probably about 7 or 8 pages thick, and I sent it to him, but that's how I ended it. That's exactly how I ended it. I said, what you should do is plead guilty. And, it's really for the sake of the victims, because there is no way out. There is no way out of that down there. There was no way out. He was going to lose, and he knew he was going to lose. So he went in and pled guilty. And, I can't say I talked him into it. Look, if I had to sit in a cell for 3 years, I would have pled guilty to it. If I'm sitting in there in isolation, man, I would have pled guilty to the Manson murders, to get the hell out of that. So, but he did go in and pled guilty and gave his sorrow and sorries to, the victims that was there. So anyway, it sums that up. And now it goes to the other states talking to him. And that is what I'm looking forward to right there, because shortly after that time, charges will be filed in short order. And it pumps me out because I don't get to go, man. We was going to go to the Arches. I was going to hang out in St. Louis. Man, I was going to drink some St. Louis coffee. Man, this is going to be a great time, man. I'm really bummed out now. We ain't going. Man, I wonder if we could just still go, man. I mean, I'll pay them the money. We just go, Hey, man, let's just go anyway. Might as well go down and see the Arch. It'll be worth it. But sorry, man, I have like no glasses on, as you can see. I mean, in one side of them because my puppy, my puppy chewed off. It's so weird. He chewed off this side on one and this side on the other. But it's just the, of the glasses. The little glass arm. It's my thought, because of how fast that they got on sending investigators out to Colorado. Now, they sent the investigators out to Colorado before he even got his convictions on minor felonies. Now, as of today, Thomas Bruce has pled guilty to all charges. He no longer has, legal representation that could stop them from talking to him, since this case is now over. So really, if Delphi or state of Indiana knew, and they do now, that he's pled guilty, they could send investigators to talk to him tomorrow. The same with Michigan and Iowa. I mean, they could be in there as quick as they wanted to be. And again, it was my thought, because when they changed it from, was it like August 2nd to November 1st, I'm like, why? 2.5 years. And look, if I'm the judge, I could look at him and say, 2.5 years, you really have no case. What's the holdup? That would have been me. Now, and I'm thinking, well, why would they change it from August to November? Why? And that's when it hit me. November, December, January, February, 3 months, states go talk to him, boom, charges filed, announced February 13th. Will they do it like that? No, not since I called it like that. Probably not, but it'll be right around that date, like right around, maybe even before February. Depends on how they do that. I mean, I don't think it's going to take 3 months for the states to go talk to him. I mean, it's a matter of murder and him confessing and thus forth. They probably already got the team they're sending all lined up for all of it, to go. So it could be days, and it could be up till February, could go as long as March. But between now, within 5 months, we'll know exactly who did Delphi and Evansdale. I mean, he did them straight up. And I've showed you my proof. I've showed you my proof. I've showed you my proof. I've told you my proof. I tried to show you my proof. You was talking. He wasn't paying attention and stuff. Oh, oh, yeah. Well, right. But see that's exactly. Oh, hey, Aussie girl. How you doing, Aussie girl, Jen? Man, glad you made it. Yeah, I would love to. And yeah, man, I'd love to go down there and have coffee. I had Seattle coffee, and I never really stopped in St. Louis. Multiple times I've been through St. Louis in my life. Probably every bit of 20, no more than that. God knows I've been through St. Louis probably about 60 times, if not more than that, man. It's always come and go when I go out west, go down through there and back. And when my parents lived in Oklahoma, my mom did, down there and back. So I'd all the time go through St. Louis. Never really stopped and had their coffee, though. Yeah, well, that's my hope, Sarah. It really is. But again, he confessed there, and again, it was like there was no way to win. I mean, you got two women that was like right there, dude. But he knew that there wasn't no way to win. When he went into the Catholic supply store, he knew he was going to be caught for it. He knew that. And I think that he was looking at two, please suicide. When they come to my door, I got a gun and I'll go out blazing. But they kicked his door in and took him out, gave him a black eye. He was still fighting. So I don't think that he needs to confess. I mean, he could confess, don't take me wrong, but it's not a matter that he has to confess to be convicted in Delphi. He knows he said everything's against him there. They know exactly who did it. They don't have pixelated video like they gave us, trying to hide the fact of who it was. They have the sharp, they have the sharp video. They know who it is. They got more audio of his voice than down the hill. They got a lot more. And believe me, when I say this, through voice recognition, facial recognition, fingerprints, DNA, two people that seen him, they knew who did it since at least the 19th of November last year. No, wait, it was more than that. By the 20th of November last year, Delphi knew who did it. So the state of Indiana and the FBI. Well, thank you, Grandma Sal. That's very kind of you, man. Very. And I would go down and have some coffee. Oh, yeah. He's a good journalist. Yeah, well, that's where I was at. Now, if I go back, and I guess I don't even know the last time I did the show. Was it was it Saturday? Had to have been. It's last Saturday. I was talking about that, but I have in a couple of my lives. I felt because they had it lined up for 6 days on a jury trial, and I've never known that there was a jury trial that had 6 days, especially when it's a first-degree murder plus 16 other felony charges. It seemed kind of silly they'd have 6-day jury trial. O.J. Simpson's went about a year. So I thought very odd that they'd do that. I believe, and this was my thought on it, that he was going to go in and confess, just like BTK, go in and confess and then give it to a jury for life or life without parole. So, I felt that that's what was going to happen. And I felt, because after 3 years of being in there, that, he was looking at it that, look, I'm never getting out. And I know I got all of these other cases now stacked behind me, ones that I thought they'd never get me for because I didn't have no DNA. Never thought I'd be arrested. Here I am. I'm hit, and they know who did it. The FBI's got everything, the whole goods on me. I'm hit for all of it. Again, when I called on the murder of Van Pates of Michigan, he was already turned in for that. In that little bitty town, somebody already turned him in. And I'm like, it was somebody that knew him, somebody that knew when it happened, when he left, man. Hey, did you see that lady out there? She came up missing, was found dead this morning. Was she out there when you went by? And that was probably the question that they put forward to Thomas Bruce. Did you see her when you went by? The only thing he could say was, well, no, she wasn't there. I mean, I seen the car, but there wasn't anybody there. You see where I'm at? That was the only thing he could say. I mean, not I don't believe that they felt he did it, but when they asked about it, I'm sure that was his comment. When that friend seen he did Catholic supply store and what he did, that's when it triggered. You know what? I bet he's the one that did that. And they called it in. Because I asked the lady, I'm like, well, was this recently turned in? She's like, well, we can't tell you that. I'm like, oh, thank you, though, man. I mean, that was really good to pick up, man. It was good knowledge. I'm like, somebody else turned him in. Hell yeah. Somebody out there doing their homework. Took a couple minutes, but I'm like, nah, it was somebody he was drinking with. Smart money says. Well, nothing happened. Greeno just reaches me when he wants something. That's it. If Greeno wants something, he's reached me. If not, hey, man, I'm a highfalutin piece of crap. Screw Greeno. If he needs anything, tell him to call somebody else. I mean, I'm just tired of dealing with him, man. I am. It's been 3 years since he's been here, and every time I hear from him, same shit. Over and over and over. Yeah. Well, I mean, I put for, I mean, when I say a great deal, because I don't know the exact amount, I put a lot of stuff forward that really shows that he's likely totally the one in Delphi and Evansdale, at like 100%. Now, when I started looking back on that, because I knew his MO, so to speak, brutal, sadistic. Now, when you have somebody that does that to minor girls, that's horrible. Now, I can't place in my mind because, when I was watching the one today, if you go to that link that I put in there, the bottom video link is the one that was done back in 2018 after he was arrested, which was talking about his wife, apologizing to the victims and their families because he had no idea. She had, wow, that sounded like a bomb. Wow, ground's still rattling. Huh. Yeah, we get a lot of gunshots around here. Because his wife had apologized to the victims and their families, she said, I had no idea that, he could do anything like this. Well, she has since divorced him and moved on. So, I just think that him being in there and knowing, it's no longer a matter of I'm going to die by cops and get this over with. Now he's got to look at it of I don't want to sit in jail. Whatever's going to happen to me, I'm going to go out there. Let me get this done. I'll plead guilty to all of it. Whatever you want, let's get it going. And so get it on down the way. Hell, right now, being that he was looking for cop suicide, I don't think he'd be afraid if they were going to kill him. I think it would end it quicker for him and he'd want that. But that's me. I don't know. I never heard back from him. He never wrote me back, but I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know that he could. He's on suicide watch in isolation. I don't think that they would have handed him a writing utensil without supervision because he could have wrote, at least me. He could have said, go F yourself or something, but he didn't. You know what? I think you are. No, it has a U in there. I think it's EUR at the end, Mary Pryor. But if you look at Mary Pryor, Genesee County, Michigan, it'll pull up her murder. Is right there in the little town of Lennon. And if you scroll out, if you go to Google Maps and you go to Lennon, Michigan, if you scroll out, because it's like a little bitty dot, it's just an itty bitty little dot, like 400 and some people in Lennon. But if you scroll out, you'll see Montrose, his hometown sits right above it. And right to the right of it, right here is Flint. That's where Thomas Bruce was living, in 97 and 99 when those two murders were committed. When I seen Mary Pryor, that one was given to me by Miss Cav. She told me to look at that. And I'm like, yeah, it looks like what he would do, and at that, because I don't even know where that came into my mind, but there came a point when I wasn't really looking at it just being children. It didn't seem to be just children. It was more of the act of how do I put it? I say opportunity, where something is presented where he knows that he could do this and likely get away with it and does it. And again, it was, I can't spell that out logically, how two young girls would just show up right there in Delphi like that at that time. Very bizarre, very, very bizarre, in every way. But there it is. It is the way that it went down, believe it or not. Hey, Colette, man, how you doing? Yes, it would. Now, we had this happen one other time, going back in time. Ah, man, I forget her name. You can look it up. It was a long time ago when I watched it. There was a woman, and I think that she was arrested in Ohio. And she had murder charges with the arrest warrant out in Indiana. They extradited her to Indiana. Indiana gave her the death penalty. But because she was already sentenced in Ohio, they sent her back to do her Ohio time until Indiana was ready to execute. Then they would have extradited her back. So if he does get the death penalty or life without parole, whatever he gets for any or, of the murders that I'm suspicioned him in, if he was to get anything in them, he would do his time in Missouri. If he gets a death penalty in any of them, then he would do his time in Missouri until they was ready to execute him. And then he would be sitting there to prep and all of that for a death penalty and then go on. And I think that that's the way they do it. Oh, yeah. You know what? Decided not going to St. Louis anymore. I'm a little upset with that. A little bummed. We was going down there. We was going to go see the arch. It was going to be so cool. We was going to drink coffee. We was going to drink coffee there. I would have made a point to drink coffee there. That's gone now. Won't be doing that. Man, geez, crap. Man, this takes such a load off of everything. I'm a little bummed out, man. It's like Christmas morning, I mean, just open the presents, but you're still like, oh, we got to wait for the big news. It ain't New Year's yet, but it will be, and shortly after. Yeah, oh man, he did do it. Holy mother of crap! Cat wasn't full of shit at all. He wasn't. We thought he was, but he wasn't really. He did his MP work. He knew. So did Puppy and Whoop, too. I ain't discounting them. No, they heard me talk about it a lot. The only person that didn't know? Greeno. Greeno didn't know. Greeno wanted it to be some man, 18 to 40, living around Delphi. Journalists, what do you do? All right, well, anyways, I've been on here for 33 minutes. Seems longer, doesn't it? Thank you. Yeah, and you know what? I will. I'll say, yo me, dude. Yo me. Yo me a trip to the arches. Tell you what I would like to do. Tell you exactly what I'd like to do. Like get me some scuba gear, man, and go down around that bridge, right there. Yeah. Find Cassius Clay's gold medal for boxing, 60 Olympics. That's where it's at, man. Pew, right out there. Now, here was my thought. Upon hearing that, I thought, how many thousands of people have been scuba diving down there looking for it? It ain't down there. Man, he wouldn't have threw that gold medal in the river. He just says he did. All right. So, any questions? Any? It's 34 after the hour. If you got questions right now, it'd be a good time to throw one up. I'll be happy to answer if you got one. If you don't, that's cool too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, wait a minute. Man, I should have said this right off the bat. Okay. I'm in Facebook jail. Not for a minute, not for a day or two. It's actually like a week. They really got me. I'm just not a good YouTube person. I mean, a Facebook person. If you would do me the big, huge fave, please share this to your Facebook. And I'll know you did too, because I'll see it and I'll go, look at them. They shared my video. All right. And I'll send you like a little congrats thing, man, on an email from me and Puppy. And we'll be sitting here going like this. Oh, it'd be really cool. Can't wait to do that. Can't wait. Can't wait. Hey, Layla. It is stunning. You're exactly right, Layla. That's exactly the word I was using. Man. Stunning news. And it is, man. I mean, Mary Wood got a hold of me and she's like, "Cat, man, he pled guilty." And I'm like, "What?" And when I put it in Google, like nothing popped up, man. It was like one thing and it was like 4 or 5 down as a Thomas Bruce pleads guilty. And I'm like, oh. So I clicked on it, watched it, and I'm like, he did. Yes. Yes. So very hip to that. Welcome to the club. Yeah, man. You know what? I was going to go live, but I was. Oh, hang on. Let me highlight that. There you go. I'm sorry, Kristen. Yeah, I was going to go live. When I found out about it, and I'm like, why? I mean, if I had my 2 guests on, I'd go, "They found him dead. Your thoughts?" Well, it's a real pisser. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Ain't much to say, man. They find the guy dead. It's like, well, there goes that. Ain't much mystery anymore. You know what? They sentenced him. They sentenced him today. They gave him 6 life terms plus 60 years. That's what they gave him. And that basically amounts to life without parole. I mean, he's 56 now. Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, he just turned 56. Like, seriously. It's after the 15th. Like, he just turned 56. Yeah, then they used to give me 3 days, but this time they're all like, wait a minute. That's hate speech. You can't say that about white people. And I'm like, hello? I'll say whatever I want about white people. Their lack of pigment. Look at you guys all walking around being white and shit. What the hell's up with that? It's not the rage. Oh, yeah, I seen that too. And you know what? I was like, wow, Larry Millett. Who? I was going to go look into it, but I did see that and I thought 1982. Wait, could they have waited for him to get like 100 or did they have to arrest him when he was ready to die? It seems a little out of place. Sorry. I'm not sure what you missed. Graham Michelle. 33 people. 33 showed up at 8 o'clock. Thank you. You 33 people. Oh no, man. Oh no, I mean you shared this and who didn't. It'll pop right up over here that you did. Letters from me and Puppy. Little congratulatory Christmas letters. That's what we do at my house. Oh, yeah, man. See, I keep missing these. I ain't got no glasses on, which ain't a bad thing. I mean, I can see everything just fine when you go out a piece. It started where stuff up here was blurry, and then it was back to here, and now I got a whole stuff so far back that it's too far away to see it clearly. So it's just within a range, but anything beyond that is very clear. Usually I'm never looking that far ahead anyway. So I'm not sitting here with glasses, and when I look at them, I'm like, I look weird without glasses. I only see myself with glasses when I'm on here. It's like looking at myself with a green screen, no glasses. Whatever, man. Whatever. All right, so shaved. Oh, shared. Lollipop. Thank you, Lolly. You're the best. I'm not just saying that. That's super cool. You'll get a letter from me and Puppy. You'll see. We know your email. So, anywho. No. Oh no. No. No, you will. You totally will. You know, I'm still doing this style. I mean, just because I'm not going to St. Louis, don't mean I'm not changing my style. I'm totally changing my style. I'm gonna like cut my hair, you know, I mean, like totally down and stuff, man, and be all like, you know, slick faced with just a regular haircut, be wearing a nice shirt, tie, and all that, you know. Like surely Carly Simon will sing like, you know, I'm so vain and shit, you know, because wait. Yeah, because she wrote that song about me. That's why. Hey, Kenny, man. Kenny, I sent you an email. You sent me an email. I sent one back. You never answered. Answer that. Answer that email. And send me your number so I can call you. Thank you, Don Schneider. You rock. See, man, got people sharing, man. People sharing. That means so much right here. It hits me right in my strokes. What? Oh, it's Barbara. Barbara, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you? Did you hear? Or maybe you read my title of the video. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Thank you, Kenny. Thomas Jerome Bruce pled guilty to all charges in St. Louis. They came out, they broke the story about 3 hours ago. Mary Wood reached me on Facebook and told me, and I went to verify that. And when I put it into Google, it's like the first four, it was all old stuff. And I got down and I seen one. It said Thomas Jerome Bruce pleads guilty. And I clicked on that. It was true. So he pled guilty to all charges. The trial on the first is now off. And that was my bummed outedness because now I'm not going to St. Louis. Heather Hodge back. Hey, thank you, man. You're hitting me in my strokes right here. Oh, really? Man, he's going to change the internet. That's the way I look at it. So anyway, and that's what I was on here talking about, Barbara, was, you know, that he pled guilty. And I thought, well, you know, it's 8 something at night. I wasn't ready to go live today. Ass puppy. I mean, I was just sitting here killing time. You know? I'm like, well, I should go on and tell people that he pled guilty, you know, to all charges. That way everybody knows. Could have waited till tomorrow, but I thought, well, everybody would know then. I wouldn't be first getting it out there on video. In fact, when I put it into Google, all kinds of videos popped up on it. All of them are the same video, though. Well, I don't think Trump would put me in jail, but believe me, the internet's just not, it's not the thing anymore. Oh no, it's becoming controlled just like the population. It just is. So if anybody's got any questions, anything like that. Yeah, well, that's my thought on it. I mean, he's been in isolation under suicide watch for 3 years. I mean, he knows he's never getting out. He knew, you know, he knew that. So I'm never going to get out. Well, sitting there for 3 years, he don't want to sit in jail. You know, he don't want to sit in jail. He knows these other states are going to talk to him. And I'm sure he's already thought to the fact of, you know what, I thought I was going to get murdered, police suicide, that kind of thing. I didn't, so what can he do? I mean, the only thing he can do is plead guilty for the whole, don't kill me, please. But then again, if the feds go after him, and that's the underlying, if the feds do it, they can pull all of these charges into one charge. Now, if they do it individual by state, we won't see him for at least a decade in Delphi. We will not see him in Indiana for at least a decade. And through all of that time, he's going to have to sit in isolation in a cell. He don't want that. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to just confess. Delphi, they got him. He knows that. Iowa, they really don't, but they know, and he knows they know, and he'll probably go from there. I'm pretty sure. In fact, it may go deeper than what I believe. I mean, hear me out. I do believe with almost absolute certainty that they went under his house trailer there in Imperial, Missouri, and got stuff that he had kept hidden away from his wife. Now, if this was pictures, video, anything like that of murders committed, these are things serial killers, sadistic serial killers like to keep. Why? Because they can keep reliving it through the pictures. Now, he couldn't put him in the house where his wife could find him. So if he had him in a box under his trailer, that would have been a good spot. Now, if he has pictures, video, anything like that was taken from Delphi or any of the other murders, that's going to put him, I mean, like that right there would be instant conviction right there. Not only did we think you did it, you had video of it, So I think that that's something that may play in as well. And we're going to find this out, because when they come out with the charges, when he goes to court, we're going to learn all of this. We'll learn every bit of it. And I'm throwing it out that I believe that he did. I'm almost positive. In Delphi, he has video or pictures, one or the other. So, if he had that anywhere on his property, he's hit. I mean, he's already hit, but he's double hit. And he knows that. Oh, no problem. You know what? It's what I like. Well, you know what? I used to really like making videos back on my old channel, but it's become, completely consumed by Delphi. And since I haven't had anything new to say in 3 years, it's made it a little hard, a little hard. I mean, I just come on and repeat myself. It's, and hopefully now we've turned a corner to where now the information is going to be coming out. How you doing, Connor? All right, man. Thank you, Mary Wilson. You rock. Mine's shut down. Yeah. I have no Facebook right now. How you doing, Davey Crockett? My man, Davey. Absolutely. You know what? That's it now. That's totally it. Let me reach that dude, because I'm pretty sure because every Halloween he has a party like that. I think it's $10 to enter. You know what? They have best costume, best pair of costumes. They have 2 bands, fully catered, a bar, but you have to pay extra for a large Coke. You see what I mean? Stuff like that. It's really a good time, man. We went over there a few years ago. Me, Greeno, Dave. Really cool. Really a great time. Thank you, Christy Lynn. Right on. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, me too. I've just been kicking it around property, just hanging out. Kind of the same thing all the time. I like it that way, though. Right now, I guess I'd like to reach out to YouTube and thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking part. And you know what? I really have not been making videos, like editing videos. And I don't know. It just seems like I've repeated everything so much that when I sit down to make it, I'm like, nah. I mean, I hate doing voiceover. I'm just like, yeah, I screwed up. Yeah, I screwed up. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Now, if I'm doing it and somebody's sitting there where they're listening, it makes it a little different. If somebody else is doing that, easy. I don't mind editing, but I got to get the voiceover, and that's the bother. Never have time to just sit down and talk to a mic. Cheers from Ottawa. Man, you know how many people I know from Ottawa? Man, let me tell you something. I know this dude from Ottawa. Guy's the NFL bet, man. That's what the guy does, man. That's the NFL. Takes the man's money. Let me tell you, man, I know a few people from Ottawa, but that cat, crazy. Also got an Italian restaurant. I heard it through the grapevine. They sit and steam today. Hold on. I got the link right here. Hold on a second. Should be able to just there. If you go to that page right there on that link, like right there at the top, it's going to have like a video. You click the top video and it's going to give you the whole lowdown on that. They gave him 12 life terms plus 60 years. So he's already sentenced. Convicted today. All the park like a Babe Ruth home run. Totally. Can't wait. Rounded the big turn. Took away St. Louis. Did that. But get to go to a Halloween party. And that's going to be just good. You know what? I will get so much video of the Halloween party, people. So much video. It's going to be just, yeah. Look forward to it. Might even get a haircut by then. You're welcome, Kitty. Yes, he is. Thank you very much, Connor. He's that dude alrighty. But, I mean, when people say, well, can you prove he was in Delphi? Yeah, absolutely. I got audio and video. Got video of him walking right across the bridge and audio of him saying, guys down the hill, what more do you need? What do you need, man? Audio and video. Hello. Can I prove he was there? Man, he went back and forth right down the Hoosier the Hoosier Heartland. Highway 25, right there, Delphi. You know where the trail's at? Right there? Yeah, right by that. Bunch of times going from St. Louis up to Montrose. Montrose back to St. Louis. Driving right by there all the time. Looking for small trails. Why? Because he's a sadistic serial killer. That's why. Looking for opportunity. Oh, Hoosier girls are pretty, Kenny. Duh. They're Hoosiers, man. We're all pretty in our own way. Look at me. I'm sitting there with a big ass goatee and no teeth. Ain't I pretty? No, I ain't pretty. Ain't pretty, but I'm handsome as hell. That's what my mommy said. My mom said, you're a handsome boy. I said, thank you, Mom. Paul, my mom said I was handsome. And you know what? Speaking of, hear me out. I'll throw this in. I go back about 10 days ago. I was sitting at my computer, and I remembered back into my youth. My grandfather that raised me would always go up to Michigan, the UP of Michigan, for 2 weeks every winter to go deer hunting. He returned after 2 weeks. Never one time had a deer. Not one time. But he would always return with a couple of bags of hard-ass cinnamon toast. And I remembered it, man. It was in a brown sack, and it said, and I was thinking, well, why would he? I mean, because I ate that cinnamon toast before, and it was like stale, rock hard. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Why would you buy stale cinnamon toast, right? So I'm thinking about that, and I thought, well, wait a minute. It came in a bag that was marked, man. I mean, like, certainly there's a place up there, and it had been pretty big. So I thought, I'm going to find out who made that toast. So I started looking, man, bam, and I found it right in Google Images, clicked on it, took me right to it. It's called Trinary toast, made in the UP in the town of Trinary. It's cinnamon toast, double baked. It's got cinnamon on top. And you dunk it in your coffee. It was made by a lady. It came from Finland, old Finnish recipe. So I ordered me 2 bags of it. Had it with my coffee yesterday. Outstanding. If you do yourself a favor, Buy yourself some Trinary toast. Dunk it in your coffee. You'll love it. Yes, you are, DJ. So Smooth. You are reading that at 100% correct, in my humble opinion. He pled guilty to all charges in St. Louis, because he has no other charges placed against him. However, I do want to point out that where he had sexually assaulted the 77-year-old lady, those charges were dropped against him because apparently she didn't want to go in and testify, and she already knew that he was going away forever. So they went ahead and dropped those charges, gave him the 60 or the 12 life terms plus 60 days. It's spelled actually like this. If you look it up on Google, put in Trinary toast, like that. Trinary toast, and they'll pull it right up. Trinary Bakery. Like right there on the thing, get the cinnamon toast. Rocks. They also have the mugs, man. It's very good, man. You will love Trinary toast. I'm telling you, man. I got it. And I only seen it when I was a kid. It just struck me as, well, my grandpa, was eating it. Must be good. Because, see, everybody said, man, I'm like, well, how come he goes up to Michigan where there's a deer around every tree and never gets one, when he could have stayed right here and got anyone he wanted? Everybody's like, he wants to go up in the woods and get away from people. And that's why I love it that he raised me. Just exactly like I am. I'm sitting out in the woods away from everybody, and I love it. That's me. Like the dad that raised me. Whoa. Watch your text, Smooth. Watch your text. When you say Delphi or not, no, there is no Delphi or not. Delphi, the word tonight is this. Delphi! Because he's hit for it. And if you don't know that, you will in a few months, because charges will be filed. And if the great journalists don't like that, tell him to kiss my backside. Or call me if he needs some, whichever. I'm bitter. I'm not happy. All right, so it is going on 9. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody got a question or comment? Maybe you'd like to say something. Throw it up in chat. We'll highlight it and discuss it around the board. Oh, wait, that was Ray Stevens? Yeah, I guess it was, wasn't it? Everybody's Beautiful. That was Ray Stevens. Huh. That goes back a long time ago. And when you think of Ray Stevens, you never really think of that song, do you? I know I never do. Oh, he can't. Nah, that's fact. No, he's cooked. Yeah. No, totally. But you see, I mean, that's the lowdown. He knew that he was. He knew he was never getting out. He knew that when he was arrested, probably, but after sitting in a cell in isolation for 3 years, let me tell you, that dude was going to do anything to not sit in isolation anymore. Hell, he'd rather have at least an isolated cell, place with some books and, movies, some shit like that. But, yeah, no, that's me. If I'm not in here, if I'm in my house in the day, I'm on my computer and I'm probably researching. That's what I'm doing. If I'm not at my computer researching, me and Puppy's in the woods, man. We're down the creek, man. We're out there hunting, exploring, looking for stuff, man. That's the life. I love being in the woods. Absolutely love it. Yes, totally. Right now. Because as of today, in St. Louis, he's convicted. He now stands as not alleged, but now the, first degree murder, sexual assault at that. I mean, he pled guilty to every charge. So they sentenced him today. He's now convicted of those charges. As of today, they can now go talk to him. And he knows that. I mean, believe me, it's one thing that Thomas Bruce knows is that there's a lot of freaking states going to get out and talk to him. He knows every single one. He knows what he's done out there, and he's duly aware of that. So in that, he knows Delphi hit for that. Fingerprints, DNA, two people that seen him, audio, video, voice recognition. They can trace everything right down. He's completely hit for Delphi. Not the same for Iowa, not the Evansdale murders. The only thing they have is a car that they could say, well, we believe that the suspect was driving this kind of vehicle, but they don't have a license plate number or the exact type. It is known, and that was from 2012, as an older style white boxy Suburban, like a 90s Jeep Cherokee. That's all they got. I mean, even if they traced that he had a Jeep Cherokee, they could, I think it's going to come down of the MO between that and Delphi. Now, if it goes beyond that, now we know in Delphi that minimally 3 physical signatures were left at the crime scene. If you leave bodies next to a creek in the woods, as both of those were, Evansdale and Delphi, and he left signatures in Delphi, did he not leave the same in Evansdale? Do you see where I'm at? Now that could be too. And that right there could be enough to pin him. They'll go like, well, we know and I mean, just show the thing, man. We're positive you did that. I did that. They could go back on that, and, however that was. And again, I don't know. On Evansdale, he had just lost a job. It was Friday the 13th of 2012. He traveled, and I want to say I don't even want to quote that wrong. However many miles north right there on that highway to reach Evansdale. Now, did he do that purposely to go there and kill like Delphi? Or did he stop there while traveling and opportunity rose? You see where I'm at? Now, in Delphi, he went seeking opportunity, but I don't know if he was seeking opportunity or if he was traveling and it just happened. I don't really know in Evansdale. But yes, police can now go talk to him. Yeah, and you know what? That is forthcoming. It is. It's like right around the block. I mean, I believe that before March, and I definitely believe by February 13th of 2022, we'll know. I hope. It should be right in that time. They could probably know sooner, but I think, it's going to be a matter of the timing. I think it's going to be like California, Michigan, Iowa, Indiana, probably other states. I mean, I would guesstimate, but I don't know. I mean, I can really go out on a thing and say 11 years in California, got married, got divorced, lost a kid. There's some women out there, that got hit with the same. I would believe that right around Escondido, San Diego County. And I believe that they know those, that, when it's all tied back together, they know. You see, I don't really carry my case knife. And I'll tell you why. Because I have a K-bar. And that's my knife in the woods. That right there will kill a bear, in case you didn't know. You just walk up, slice their neck open, let him bleed out a little bit. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you for that. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? It's going to be way bigger. Look, when it comes out on Thomas Bruce, when the whole comes out, when these charges are filed, he will be known probably as one of the biggest or largest serial killers in the Midwest. And it even goes outside the Midwest. Let me put it like this. If you're looking at a serial killer, most of them kill in an area, say Los Angeles, San Francisco, wherever you got like Atlanta, wherever you got a serial killer, they kill around that big proximity. That's why normally, where a body is, they guesstimate that he's going to be within a 25-mile radius of where his dump sites are. That's a norm. Now, I can't think of, and I'm sure that there are. I'm sure that there is, like traveling serial killers, like the I-70 killer, like that, where they're kind of traveling and that becomes their method because they're traveling. But normally it isn't the case. And when you got a guy that's like, well, he killed where he lived in Michigan. He killed where he lived in St. Louis. He killed traveling from St. Louis to Montrose, Michigan. He killed, in Iowa. But now that may have been purposely set for him to travel there, because I believe, don't quote me, I believe his ex-wife lives in Minnesota. Thus, his son, Thomas Bruce Jr., would live in Minnesota. Now, if he was traveling up to Minnesota, understand, this is how I got the route from St. Louis to Montrose. Takes the Hoosier Heartland, which the Monon Trail is on, the Hoosier Heartland Highway. That's one of two routes given. Now, if he was traveling from St. Louis north to Minnesota, up the same way, directly north from where he lived, he would always use that same travel way, which is right there where Evansdale lives. So I believe that Monon High Bridge and what is now, it was Myers Lake, but is now Two Angels Trail. I believe that these were places that were small trails, not a lot of security, small town, next to a highway to get out of there quickly. And I think that these were places that he's seen as an opportunity, a place where I could stop, somebody travel around, I can get him. There's no chance somebody's going to be right behind him, and that's how I think that those went down. But I can't place whether he was traveling and it happened, or if he went there purposely looking for an opportunity in Evansdale. In Delphi, he did. No, nothing like that. Now, I'm kind of, I was to a different side, and a lot of people were on the same page as you. They're like, oh, I don't think he's going to confess. I think he'll go, I don't know about any of it. And I'm like, well, that's just fine. But now Mary Pryor and Ann Pates, in both of those murders, they got DNA and fingerprints. In Delphi, they got fingerprints and DNA. Now, I don't think that they got DNA or fingerprints in Evansdale. I could be wrong on that. I don't really know if he left signatures, but it was 6 months later. They could, maybe. It's really hard to say. But I think 3 years of sitting in isolation has really turned him to, hey, they got me. I'm never getting out. Let's do this. I think that the best thing he could do is just walk in. Yeah, I did it. It was all me. I did it. There you go. And that'd be cool if that's the way it goes out. Very welcome, BSU. And he's GOR puppy to save him. I explain that one a little bit. Okay, I got it. I was wondering. I knew Gore just was a little. No. Now see, oh, that's a knife. I wouldn't say at the Crocodile Dundee, because that guy didn't have no K-bar. He had like a, I don't know, shit that Rambo would have enjoyed. Not that Rambo was unfamiliar with the K-bar. Mine's Army issue. Uh, Tis life, man, in the armor. Oh yeah, totally. No, she's that goes back like a long time back, a long time back. Because yes, he is an opportunity killer. That's, I mean, uh, he doesn't, to my knowledge, he does not stalk victims. He don't go out, see them, and say, "Well, I'm going to hang out and wait for that one." He goes to a place or waits opportunity to where, "Oh, hey, I can, help this lady. She get in, go off, do what I want, so on." And I think that that's how he operates. I've never seen in any case where he waited for somebody and then attacked them. In every case, it was they were there, he was in that mood, and it transpired. But Arkansas, too, man, don't call me Arkansas. Oh yeah. No, man. Puppy would say, "Listen, puppy's not puppy's not gonna save me." And here's the issue: if somebody breaks in my house, they ain't got to deal with puppy. They got to deal with me because I'm going to be there and I save puppy. Puppy's my baby, man. I love that puppy. I love him more than anything. I tell him that every time. Kiss him on his little head and I say, "I love you more than anything." You know that? He knows. He gets it. 31 people here. Any cool comments? Like, Arkansas toothpick, a big knife. Man, don't Arkansas toothpick. Man, I'm gonna have to look up Arkansas toothpick so I know. Like, I hope it's not a K bar. See, I pick my teeth with this K bar. That's why I ain't got none. Don't pick your teeth with the K bar. That's right. So, anybody got questions? Anybody got comments? Anybody got anything like that? Because I'm going to wrap it up, make a couple calls, make sure everybody in the house knows. He said, "Let's get on with it." Because now it's become real. Now it's Delphi. Now we're looking at Delphi, man. Now we're looking at every other crime that I have, hopefully, convinced you all he's done. If you're not convinced, give it time, because when law enforcement comes out, don't be standing on the page "I knew all the time." Oh, I always knew. Nobody. No, I can't say that. Actually, there's a few people I've talked to that kind of really understood, my case on that. And I've had people say, "Well, no, wait a minute." And I forget all of them. And I'm all like, it's not it. And I'm telling them, man, I'm like, on all of it. And then they're all like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right." So hopefully, and believe me, when this does come out, when it comes out, Delphi, Iowa, Michigan, when all of it comes out, I will be very pleased. Very pleased. Because firstly, I will no longer have to repeat myself. 2, everybody will be on the same page. Now we ain't going to have to hear these crazy freaking theories of people. I mean, like, Jesus age. You know what? I always felt inside my heart that people, and it kept growing every year, people more and more programmed, more and more programmed. Ladies and gentlemen, when Delphi happened, when I heard people on here talking and chatting and the things I read, I'm like, holy mother of shit. Some people just don't have 2 cents to put together. They don't even have common sense. They know nothing, statistics, investigation. And I'm like, it's maddening. It's mad. People are out there like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. You don't have to take my word for it. You can take law enforcement's word for it. And it's just the same by me. I mean, they'll be coming out with the same thing I'm saying. Just a matter of time. Oh, hey, Gio's back. Yeah, I could. I mean, I could shave it down, but man, it's still black. It's got a few dents in the. I mean, you see where it's like white a little bit in places where it's got a little ding, but yeah, I like my K-bar. I do. Hey, you have a good night, Sean, and thank you for being here. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're seeing the same one I seen. I thought, wait a minute, man, that ain't from today, is it? I thought it was an older picture. Oh, really? You know what? I ain't been out there in a while. Um, I was going to go out there, but I have not yet. Oh yeah, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a little raspy. It's been up, man, talking. Usually just talk, but when you got to be loud, you got to rasp. You know what? I reached Sheriff Lesenby, and that's probably been like right at about 2 months ago. I mean, it was like in short order after I had sent Thomas Bruce the last letter, and that's been two and a half months ago. You know, I sent one to Sheriff Tobe Lesenby, and I asked him, you know, in the email, I'm like, when Thomas Jerome Bruce is convicted in St. Louis, are people from Indiana going to go down and talk to him? That was my question. Really simple. Not a reply. Didn't even get a hey, cat. No comment. Nothing did I get back. Nothing. That makes me happy. That makes me very happy. Puts me in knowing. Oh, yeah. No, dude, I said the same thing. And you know what? When I did the voice comparison between that and the Down the Hill, people are like, nope, don't sound like him at all. Peace. People, man. You need to listen. Remember, like both of them are not good recordings. One was done off of a cell phone, pocketed with him behind her. Remember that. He was leading them. He wasn't in front of them. They're like, oh, hey, follow me over here. He's behind him leading them. Now, the second one was done on a trail cam at a distance with the cop standing in front of him when he was talking. Neither one of them are good recordings. Do they each sound like him? Yeah. Well, the one sounded like him, duh. So is the other one. Down the Hill, totally Thomas Bruce. Totally. No doubt in my mind. No, I don't. No, not at all. Some of that will come out. Some of it. The manner of death, probably. Now, and I feel that it's right because to me, the manner in which the girls in Delphi died, they died. I mean, you understand, they were murdered. And really being minor girls, that's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. Now, if they died by knife, gunshot, that's one thing, but I don't want to know the degrees. You see where I'm at? I mean, it's a loss of two young girls, very innocent. And it's kind of what turned everybody's attention to the case because two young girls taking a hike, friends, I mean, should never come up dead like that, you know, but we knew that there was a monster that did that. A guy that's been like 5 years. It'll be 5 years by the time they come out with it. 5 years since that happened. Now I'm quoting Doug Carter. Doug Carter, head of Indiana State Police, said, "Never in my life have I seen a murder where we had more evidence than what we do. We have audio, we have video, we have DNA, we have people that seen him. We have a lot of evidence. We're only missing one piece, and that's who did it." For 3 years, and I've stated this every week, for 3 years, they cannot tell you who did it. They cannot say, well, we know who did it. Who? Well, we can't tell you that. Oh, you said who you know. You know, it would be nothing but their investigation that they could answer for. You know, they can't say, well, No, he told us, you know, they can't do that. They could have to answer on their investigation. And what are they doing with their investigation? They're keeping it very close to their vest and secret. Why? Because they don't want to blow this case. And I told you, if they filed charges without talking to him, he'd turn right back around and get a quick and speedy trial, and there'd be no way they could get him here, and we'd be screwed, and we'd never see that guy in justice for that. Now we will. Now it's coming together. Oh, yeah. You know what, man? Thank you very much. I like the hat. It's growing on me. It's actually a little crooked. It should be about like that. Yeah, about like so. You know, it's this V right here, man. It always makes me think it should be like, you know, shouldn't be about like that. I'm not the best, but I'm the best, second best that there is. No. Nah. He lived at that time. Now we're going back to 2017. Now this is going to be 5 years, February 13th of 2022. It'd be 5 years since that happened. Now, when he was arrested for the Catholic supply store, sexual assault and homicide, I talked to his neighbor, okay, briefly. And she told me, she said, he didn't live here at that time. He had just moved out here about a year ago. Now, if I go back before that, his last previous address was on Black Link Road, St. Louis. And he was living at the same address when Evansdale happened on the Black Link Road. I could go pull that address on you. But here's the lowdown, Dandelions and Daisies. You see, he's from Montrose, Michigan, Genesee County. Now, if you go from where he lived on Black Link Road to Fort Wayne, because that's where his brother lived, was Fort Wayne, and then straight north up to Montrose. Now, if you do that, you get two routes. One is I-70. The other one is the Hoosier Heartland. If you take the Hoosier Heartland, which I believe that he would, because he's looking for small trails to seek opportunity. He already knew about the trail. He already knew of it. He had been there many times en route to, back to hometown. He had stopped there. He'd been there. He knew that trail. That's why I try to tell everybody. That's how he knew the trail. He had stopped there many times. He may have even stopped there in the past looking for opportunity, because he knew that as a place to be opportunistic at. So, if he went there on the day of the Delphi murders because it was a day. It was the reverse of Evansdale, which is 7/13/12. You reverse that, you get 2/13/17. Second month, February, 13th day, 2017. That's the date of the Adelphi murders. They're reversible. That is insane. That right there is so statistically. How would I put this? 16 cases. The FBI statistic, look it up. 16 cases of two girls being abducted in daylight and murdered. FBI, that's it. 16 total cases of two girls being abducted in daylight and being murdered since 1974. Now, of those, at least 8 a person has been convicted on, because they said at least half of them was done by family or friends of the family. Now, that leaves the other 8. Of those 8, Evansdale and Delphi are 2 of those cases. Now, Evansdale, Delphi, exact cases, reversible dates. That did not miss the FBI, and that's why the FBI had an agent in Delphi on the 14th before the girls were found. If you didn't know it, you heard it here. I'm trying to, Colette. I ain't really trying to say it like it is. I mean, I'm just saying it, and people can take it how they want to, however you want. Oh, yeah. It's the Black Rose by Boston Scully, man. I saw the hat, and I'm like, yeah, I like that, man. That looks really smooth. Now, I figured it would be a little bit more because it's their Peaky collection, which is supposed to like peak up and got the, but it really ain't. I figured it would fold down a little bit more, be a little bit slimmer, this way, like my old hat. But it's fine. And actually, if I put down like that, kind of looks Sherlockian a little bit. Yes. You see, here's the thing. They don't keep serial killers in population. They don't. You look at any serial killer that's ever went to prison for what they did, they're always kept. Now, some of them, it depends. I mean, if you look at Menendez, Charles Manson, the nice, they were kept on death row. Now, if you look at any others, they're usually kept separate of people and in with people who had likely done the same. If, something like that. They even have protective custody. When I went to Westville, there was people in protective custody because they was in there for like child molest and shit. Now they put one of those people in population one time when we went to bed. I woke up, man, they turned the lights on. There was people there just beating the fuck out of that dude. Man, what'd he do? Child molest. I'm like, holy shit. They beat the fuck out of that dude. They put him in solitary or in protective custody. He's lucky he lived through that. Seriously, they beat that dude half to death. There's another dude in there, man, had a big scar all the way across his neck. Nasty. Thought somebody tried to whack him. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I always do. I mean, if I'm talking like, if I'm looking over here, because right now we're at a lag. I've already, pretty much told you everything. So, now, I'm kind of just answering questions. I'm glad you guys are throwing them up. Very cool. Yeah, I looked into that. They got that guy. They got him. No. You is the one. You're the one that did that. You're the one that told me about it and was talking about the reversible date. Like, what reversible date? What's it reversed to? I went and looked that up. They had arrested the guy, man, on DNA, man, and extradited him back to face charges for that. It was not the work of Thomas Jerome Bruce. And I had looked into that. I didn't recognize Zion, but when I looked at it, I knew that I had seen it before. I mean, I had seen that case before. JW28. You think? They got audio and video of him in Delphi. Yeah, he was in Delphi when Delphi happened. He was right there at the bridge. He's the one that made it happen. I'm telling you that. He did. But do you know why? Because he was doing trustee work in the kitchen and they seen he was in there and a dude that was doing life without parole killed him. That's why. He was kept separate. He wanted to do the trustee. They let him and he paid the price. That's why. He's the only one. He's the only serial killer I ever know that got killed. That was it. And that's because what he did was ghoulish, man. I mean, I'm sure everybody doing life without parole in there wanted to kill him. Yeah, he got his head bashed in. He died. He paid the price. Oh, really? Now, you see, I was just talking about Trinary toast. Did you hear me talking about Trinary toast? I was talking about Trinary toast earlier. Ordered me 2 bags. Hell, man, I'll go get them and show you. Well, a bag. I mean, I'm not, all of them. Got this bag here sitting on the computer. And see, it says right on it, Trinary toast, cinnamon. If you're curious about what they look like that. See, it's got the cinnamon right on top. Right on top is where they put the cinnamon. But yeah, let me tell you, man, Trinary toast, awesome. Dipped in coffee, man. You butter it really good and dip it in. Totally happy I looked that up. Totally happy. You know what? When I looked that up, I forget the lowdown. I mean, I forget the lowdown off the first because it was somebody. Man, I'm trying to remember a name or something, but I know that they had to extradite him from, I think it was the East Coast back to Illinois. And he was tied to it because the DNA matched when he was arrested there. Look that up. I mean, you should be able to find it. I mean, I found it pretty good. Hey, Chris G, how you doing, man? Glad you made it, dude. No, he did it, and I do. I mean, I don't think in Delphi there's any way for him to talk out of that. I mean, they're gonna go, dude. My God. I mean, look, we got audio, video, DNA, fingerprints, people have seen you. They couldn't tie it to him. Now, how it was tied to him, my thoughts, you can go back to my videos, expressed this before. When he was arrested for Catholic supply store sexual assault and homicide, when they arrested him, that's when his fingerprints came back as a match for Delphi. And that's when they contacted Delphi. They looked at it and they said, hey, we arrested a man in there for first-degree murder. He was dressed exactly like your suspect was dressed in Delphi. Plus, he had never been arrested before, had no DNA or fingerprints to be matched to, happens to look just like your sketch, Delphi. Now, the one thing that was never mentioned in all that was fingerprints. Why? Because of the fingerprints, and they came out in the media saying the fingerprints were there. Law enforcement was not going to tell us fingerprints. That would have been conclusive, and the public would have known if they mentioned fingerprints. Who mentioned fingerprints? I mentioned fingerprints because that's how it happened. That's exactly how it happened in St. Louis. When they got the fingerprint match, they went right to Delphi because it came back as the Delphi unknowns. Oh, thank you, man. You know what? I like this app. I do. I liked my old one, but man, I wore it for 10 years. It's actually like in the shape of my skull. It's weird. And I can actually see where my head's got a dent. I remember getting hit that time too. It was, I was a little drunk, but I felt it. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, Dahmer, man. You know what? When you watch Dahmer talk, it's very interesting if you watch the interview with him and his father, where they're talking about that, asking him to go back because they got video, not of his murders, but, of like when he was at his parents' house for around Christmas. And it was like, I don't know, it was like 2 days after he had murdered somebody. And when they're showing that and the way he was acting, he's like, and look, he's acting like he did nothing, like nothing had even happened. I'm like, well, duh. No, they don't come out going, well, I killed somebody. I'm feeling a little bad about it, but it's interesting because you get to see his expression when he's talking about it. And I don't know. There is something. How do I say? I don't want to say odd about sadistic serial killer. I mean, duh, it kind of goes without saying. It's like saying, Jeffrey Dahmer might have been a little odd. Given the circumstances, it goes without saying he was a little odd. But there's a thing there that when you're dealing with somebody that's got a mental problem, issue, however you want to phrase that goes so deep that they go beyond. I mean, beyond. It's like, whatever could have kicked that off? There is something genetically askew where a person would go that far out without there being a reason. I mean, anything that we could look at it, we'd say, well, that would never cause me to think like that. But these people, they do. There's something that happens at an age and that that switch is flipped, and it just starts getting more and more and more, as time goes by. Yeah, Thomas Bruce. You know what? There is not an interview that I've watched where they're talking about anybody that they've talked to that didn't say he was my favorite neighbor, he was my favorite friend, he was a great guy. Everybody that knew him said just identical things. The guy was a great guy. The guy was not a great guy, though. You see where I'm at? He was not a great guy. He put off that he was a great guy, and it really came forward to these people that he was that guy. But he wasn't deep down that guy. He was somebody else playing that guy, is the lowdown. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Well, they double bake it. They double bake it. And it's only $5 a bag. $5 for a bag of toast this big, stacked across. Great toast. So 9:36. Anybody question, comment? A Jeffrey Dahmer joke. Go ahead. I like Dahmer jokes. Go ahead, man. Could we get some more Dahmer jokes, please? Please, somebody. I used to know some. Forgot what they were. Serial killer jokes. They're not how they used to be. Yeah, you know what? I remember one. Now, hang on. You would have to be my age. Well, you know what? Not really. I asked my friend the other day. He's my age. I think he moved up to where I lived at when we was like 8 years old. It's weird, man. We're still friends from 8 years old. It's been like 50 years almost being friends. And he lives right out here by me. He has for like 5 years. Crazy. But anyway, I asked him, I'm like, man, you remember the Atlanta child killings? No. What? This is like 1980, man. Remember all the kids down there getting killed? Yep. So, well, the joke wouldn't do you no good then. Dahmer knows pizza. Yeah. Thank you, Gio. Thank you kindly. That was good, man. See, man, there's a lot of Dahmer jokes. I didn't even heard most of these people. Used to do comedy a long time ago. Seems like the old days, because it was. Not really. It was a pretty good joke, really. Questions, comments in chat. I can see him if I look like that. If I squint a little bit. Should have got my glasses. Been that dude. All right, man. Ladies and gents, people. Hey, man, it's Bruce Davis. How you doing, Bruce? Man, nice seeing you, dude. You got in like really late. I was fixing to sign off. I was fixing to be that dude that bailed. As everybody knows, and in case you didn't, if you're just tuning in like Bruce, maybe Thomas Jerome Bruce, the guy that I suspicion in the Delphi and the Evansdale murders and the murders of Ann Pates and Mary Pryor in Michigan, has pleaded guilty to all charges in the Catholic supply store sexual assault and homicide, because that is all he is charged with right now. However, this opens the door because these other three states, Michigan, Iowa, and Indiana, probably also Missouri and California on top of that will also come at him probably with charges as well, and likely in other states that I am totally in the unknown of. That's the news. He's been hit, he's been convicted, and now they can go talk to him. I thanks everybody for being here. Anybody that shared this video, man, you get a thumbs up and a birthday card from me and Puppy, and we thank you the most. Oh, hang on 1 second. Hang on. Well, it kind of goes without saying. I mean, Mark Redwine, I mean, he knew he was hit too. It was just a matter of time, and he knew it. I mean, even when they arrested him, hey, what are you doing? You know, yeah. Look, Mark Redwine, anybody that eats crap out of a diaper, you're kind of hit. I mean, geez. What kind of a sick turd would do that, man? A serial killer, maybe. Yeah, we'll do. You know what, man? We was just talking about him earlier. Yeah, if I ever hear from him and shit, man, I'll tell him he said hi. I will, man. Be all like, hey, Gio said hi. Anyways, man, I thank everybody for being here, man. Have a great week. And I should be back Tuesday. I should line something up by then. So I should be here Tuesday. I'll see you guys then, and peace.